Welcome to AICT HTML Tutorials Lesson 1 Introduction, Lists and Table. HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the most widely used language to write web pages. Right? Hypertext refers to the way in which web pages, which means HTML documents, the web pages we call HTML documents, are linked together. Thus, the link available on the web page is called hypertext. In the link on the web we call that is hypertext. Right? As its name suggested, HTML is a markup language, which means you use HTML simply mark up a text document with tags. It means markup tags that tell a web browser how to structure it to display. Right? So the hypertext is a link in a document. So markup language, for the markup, to define everything we will use markup tags. Right? Originally, HTML was developed with the intent of defining the structure of documents like headings, paragraphs, lists, and so forth, to facilitate the sharing of scientific information between researchers. Now HTML is being widely used to format the web pages with the help of different tags available in HTML language. So basically here you can see there is a sample code, right? So normally initially we will type that code in the notepad. Here on the top we will put doctype HTML. The doctype HTML is indicate the version, that is HTML5, and the first line is going to be, right, so this is a tag. Every tag have a closing tag. Most of the tag have a closing tag. So here this HTML, this is the closing tag, and this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. Right? Head is a tag, opening tag and the closing tag. Most of the tags will come with pairs, open and close. Not all, everything, most. Here title tag and the title tag close. So like that your HTML code will be like this. Everything will be defined with tags. Here heading 1, H1 is a heading 1, H1 mean heading 1, P mean paragraph. Right? So here the doc type, what you put on the doc type, it will mention the version. It tag define the document type and HTML version. If it is HTML version 5, what we are using nowadays is HTML 5. We will use this doc type HTML for the version. So the HTML is, we are saying we are starting the HTML. After that we are starting the head, we are starting the title, we are starting the body, and whatever the you want inside the body we can place it. Right? When you see on the example we can make it more meaningful. Right? So to make a HTML page, normally in the initial stage we will use Notepad. Here I will open a Notepad. So in the Notepad we are going to type our HTML. So the first line is going to be HTML opening tag, and the last line is going to be HTML closing tag. So inside the HTML tag we are going to say head. Inside the head we are going to say there is a title. So I will put the title as AICT and I will close the title. So that is the title. So again I will close the head. So what is the title mean on the web page? If it is a web page, whatever you see on the top on the title bar, that is the title. For example, if I go to Google, so when you go to the Google page, here see the Google, that is the title. Yeah, this is the title. When you go to another page, w3schools.com. Here this is the title, W3 School Online Web Tutorials. So which appears on the title bar, that we call title. So whatever the title you want to put in your website, you can put it inside the title. The title will be inside the head. After that, the body. Right, body tag, body is the page. The body tag closes. So inside the body, we can design our pages. So in HTML, there are some heading sizes. So there are 6 heading sizes. H1 is the heading 1 size. H1 is the heading 1 size. Here H1. So heading 1, it will be the largest size in HTML. Like that, you have 6 HTML sizes. H1 is going to be the largest one and H6 is going to be the smallest one. So I just copied this one. So H2, here H2, the heading 2 sizes. This is H3, heading 3 size. This is H4, heading 4. This is H5, heading 5. And heading 6, that is the smallest. Heading 6 is going to be the smallest. No H7, there are only 6 sizes. So if you want to see the output of this, so you have to save this document as a web page. So go to File, Save As. So in my, you can create a folder for you in your PC. In my case, I will select local disk AICT. In my local disk AICT, I'm going to save this file, example1, any file name and the extension, the file type. You have to give .html, that is important. Then only it will be saved as a web page, HTML document, right? So example1.html and save. Right. Now I'll go to that particular folder. It's D AICT. Yeah, this is the example one. You can open with any browser. So here, this is going to be your output. So the heading 1 size, heading 2 size, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. Right? So everything will be defined with the heading sizes. Like that, you have bold, B for bold, you can say bold. Bold. So it will be get bold. So B tag is for bold, or you can use strong also. Both are same. Both are going to give the same output. Strong. If it is for italic, you can use I. I is for italic. If it is U underline, you can use underline, U for underline. Strike, will give a strike through the word. If you want to apply the bold, italic, underline, so you can close it like this. So this will be get bold, italic and underline. If you are using more than one tags, it's better to have a sequence, not must but better. First open will be close last. You can think here mostly here first open will be closed last. Last open will be closed first. Last open will be closed first. You can maintain that order. Right. I'll save this one. So here this is bold, Strong didn't come. I think some spelling strong here. I made a spelling mistake. strong. Strong. Yeah. Italic. Underline. This is the strike. All the three options: bold, italic, and underline. I now see all what I here type below below one another, right? But here it's coming in the same line. If you want to move it to the next line, there is the tag also. So these are heading sizes. So it's identify a heading and it will move to the next line. If you want to go manually by break, there is a tag called BR. BR means break. So the break tag doesn't have a closing tag. There is no need to have a closing tag. So you can put BR. If there is no closing tag, you can use like this way also. This also correct. This also correct. This also correct. So when you make, if anyone see, he will know there won't be a closing tag. Right. So BR, and BR. And I will save this one. Yes. On to the next line. Right. Now I will go to H3. Right. Now we will see the superscript and the subscript. Superscript and the subscript. So superscript mean if I want, I can show it in the word. So here x step, x, y, power of 3. So these are superscript. Subscript mean here come down. That is the subscript. So if you want to get something like in your output, you can use this. For the here see, I'll make it x. SUP for the superscript, you have to use the tag SUP. SUP2 and close the SUP plus again y, again SUP super and 3 SUP. You can use the like this, and the BR, I'll use the BR to go to the next one. Here C O SUB subscript CO2, close the SUB plus H, again SUB 2 SUB O H2O equal. So when you save this one, and when I refresh the page here to give that out. Same like if you want to add paragraphs, here I'll add a P tag. So that is a paragraph. So you can have a paragraph, whatever the paragraph you want, you can get it as. So that is a paragraph. I'll just copy and paste a paragraph. Whatever the paragraph you want, you can type your own paragraph for the same one when you're doing practicing a paragraph. So that is going to be a paragraph. Yeah. When you put P, that is going to be a paragraph. If you want to put another paragraph, I will put another P, and the P closes there. Inside that, you can put the other paragraph also. So I will copy the other one. And I will paste that paragraph inside the P tag and save. So the paragraph, right? So that is the paragraph, right? So the paragraph mostly it will take 2 line spaces. The BR it will take only these are BR, single line spaces. Here, this is the paragraph. Between there are two line spaces. Right? So like that you can put your paragraphs also. I'll close this. Now we see HTML attributes, right? So here in the HTML there are some attributes and their values, right? All the HTML elements. So for example here HTML, this is an element, body is an element, H1 is an element. Every element can have its own attributes, right? For example, body. So body is an element, so the body can have an attribute BG color. BG color. I'll give a color value. Mostly we use the color values, hexadecimal values. I'll give a yellow color. So this is the color value. You can get these color values using Photoshop or through the internet. So this is going to be a color in yellow here, the background. So body is a element, BG color is the attribute, and the color is the value. So anything can have an attribute. Here the paragraph. So for the paragraph, I am going to give inside that I am going to give a tag font. Font is an element. Color is an attribute. So I'll give a color. I'll give a red color. So this is the color value. If I want to explain the color value, what is that? Right. So I'll put this one not in this paragraph. I'm going to, if you want to put that one in the second paragraph, here I'll put that font tag and font color, and I'll close the font tag here. So the second paragraph will be get affected with the red color. Got affected with the second paragraph got affected with the red color. So one element can have more than one attribute. Here font color, size, I'll give 16 pixels, and I'll save that one. So it will get the size of that 16 pixels. So I'll reduce that. If it is too big, I'll make it 12 pixels. So it will go to the 12 pixels. I think font color, size 12 pixels, 10 pixels, 8 pixels. I'll save this one. I think it's 6 or 4. I'll save this one. Yeah, the 4 size. So in the sizes we can learn on that. When you're learning CSS, we can see that one in depth later. So one element can have more than one attribute. So this is the element, color is attribute value, size is another attribute value, and face. Font face is the font. In here in the Word, for example, this is the font face, Calibri Bodily, or anything Algerian, monotype Cursiva. So I'll select this monotype Cursiva. I'll copy this font name from here and I'll paste it. So that is going to be the second paragraph is going to be the color red, and the font also going to change it, monotype Cursiva. So this is the basic idea of making a web page. So here every element can have attributes, its attributes. So if you don't know about these color values, mostly more than 16 million colors we can generate in the system. So it's difficult to give for each and every 16 million colors. It's difficult to give the name of the color. So there are some color values. We call this one hexadecimal. So the hexadecimal mean it has 16 characters, 1 to 9, 10, right, and A to F6, A to F. So there are totally 16 numbers. Hexadecimal. Right, what we are using, that is normal number we call decimal. But the number we are using, that is the decimal number. Decimal number. It have characters 1 to 9. 10 digits. Here we have 16 digits. So here the largest value is 9 and the smallest value is 0. Actually it's 0. I can put 0. 0. Right. Here the largest value is F and the smallest value is 0. So the color value, in color value we will have 6 digits. A hash mark we will put to call anything, to call the color. There will be 6 digits. So the first 2 digits will be represent red. The other 2 will be represent green. Other 2 will be represent the blue. The basic colors are 3. Mixing these 3 base colors, we can take any number of colors, more than 16 million colors, mixing like this. So here when you put like this is going to be red. Here see in our code the paragraph is in red. In our code window, see the value for the red what we gave. Here 2 F's. Yeah, it means the highest value of the red, no green, no blue. Right. When you make it here, when you put this red and green, when you mix red and green, here that why here put here red and green, it will give the yellow. Right. If you want, you can open the Photoshop and use, or you can go to the internet and you can get the hexadecimal values. You don't need to memorize those values, just you have to, just I am saying the concept of these color values. Right. So there will be 6 digits when I make it like this. So it's going to be blue. R, this is R, red. These two are green. These 2 are blue. So we don't need red, we don't need green, we need the maximum blue. When you reduce this FF to something 33, it will the light blue. The blue will be reduced. The blue will be reduced. Right. Here I have opened the Photoshop. So when you go to a Photoshop, when you take any color palette, here when you drag the color, normally we will drag the color like this. When you drag the color, here you can see the value. Here you can see the value. Yeah. So when you copy this value, when you paste it to that page here, the page will be get with that affected with that color. Here I will save that one and I will go to my page and refresh. Yeah. So that is the hexadecimal. Oh, here also, here when you put FF 0000 red. When you put FF 00 yellow. Right. So that is the color value, the hexadecimal values. You can go to the Photoshop or you can go to the internet and you can select the color whatever you want and you can copy this code and paste it. So that is this thing. So in your example, that is going to be exercise 1. You have to save it and you have to email it to me. So here this is exercise 1. The next one is going to be the HTML list. In list we have UL and OL. UL mean unordered list. Unordered list mean when you say in the word, it will give some bullets here. When this is going to be the unordered list. There is a list but there is no order. It will be bullet. That is unordered list. UL. We say UL. OL mean ordered list. OL mean ordered list. Yeah. Here numbering. Here this is going to be the ordered list in HTML. Just I am showing in the word. We call numbering. Right? ordered list and unordered list. So that is the listed. So you can do this exercise 2 using these list values, right? So you can't copy and paste, you have to practice, right? So here, see, I'll show this output and I'll explain. I'll save this one. I'll save it example 2.html. I'll go to my web page and I'll open the example 2 here. So here you can have nested list also. Here the OL mean ordered list, number 1, LI number 1 computer, and I open another OL. So when you open without closing the first OL, right, without closing the first OL, when you open another OL, it will give a nested, it will be nested, a sub of the computer. Here OL type, it have its attribute and a value. So it will go ABC, IBM, LG, HP. So still I didn't close the second OL, and without opening a second OL, I placed another UL, unordered list. So under the HP there is a bulletin, another sub. It's going to be another sub. Yeah, another sub. So after that only, after del is going to be the D. After that only I will close the second OL. It means this OL. So after that it will finish that one. Again LI, the number 2 television from the first OL, right? Like that you can make it nested also. And when you make it here, when you give the OL type, right, you can give Roman. When you put OL type I, it will give in Roman letters. When you give A, it will go ABC. Like that UL type square. Here this is the square. The circle will be like normal in default. There will be this. So there are 3 types in this bulletin. If you want to more, you have to use the CSS that we learn later. In HTML, we have 3 UL types: square, circle, and the disk. Disk is the default one. So that is the HTML list. And we will see the HTML tables. The HTML tables allow web authors to arrange data like text, images, links, other tables, etc. into rows and columns. You know table, right? In a Word, when you put in a Word table here, it has 3 rows and 4 columns. Rows and columns, right? So the table tag and row, this in HTML, these row have 4 table data, TD, right? So if you want to make such a table, here see this one, right? Here this is the exercise 3, you have to try by your own, right? Here the body, table, that is attribute, border. So table should have if you want to have a border, you can put border, the border size. TR means the table row, right? So this table row ends here. So this is going to be the row. Inside the row you have 3 table headings. If you want, when you put TH, it's going to be table heading. Table heading. I'll save it and show it to you. Yeah, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are going to be table heading. And this is the second row. Yeah, the second row, TR open here, TR closed here. Inside that you have 3 TD, table data. Table data, we call HTML, CSS, PH. Table data. And again, the third row, yeah, and it has the 3 table data. So you can create simply like these tables, and when you see the exercise 4, that is something a customized thing, a customized table. So I'll save this one and I'll show it how it's work. Yeah. So if you want to take this type of table. So table border 1, the border size TR, this is going to be the first row. AICT is going to be the first row, this one. So that is going to be the first row. So TD, so it has only one TD. The first row have only one TD, but it's taking 4 column spaces. For AICT is taking 4 column spaces. That's why I put col span 4. And this is to align it is center. And the second row is going as usual. PHP, CSS, JS, HTML. The second page is going as usual. And the third row, here see I highlight in my web. This is going to be the third row. But I highlighted in my web page. Yeah. Welcome, web and boy. So the third row, first TD is having 3 row spaces. Row spaces 3. So we have to put row span. Welcome. And the other TD, the web is getting 2 column spaces, the web. And the by again 3 row spaces. And so the internet, the word internet, it are having only the fourth row, it are having only one TD with 2 call span. You see the internet. The internet, one TD, only one table data in the fourth row and with 2 column spaces. And the last one, email, that is going to be the fifth row. That is going to be the fifth row. It is having only 2 column spaces. Okay. So like that we can make those tables. So you can go through this tutorial which I have emailed to you, and you have to do this exercise 1 and you have to save it and you have to email it to me. Exercise 2 and exercise 3 and exercise 4. You have to do 4 exercises. So in the next lesson, so if you finish these 4 exercises and show it, so I can go to the next lesson. Thank you for watching HTML tutorials. Lesson 1. In the next lesson, we'll see iframe, images and link.